February 22nd, 2018. Watching the sunrise this morning.
Welcome back to Ray's A-Frame Adventure, episode 22.
Not quite awake yet. It's, I don't know, close to 6:30, but sun's coming up. Got cakes on the griddle. Life ain't nothing but a funny, funny riddle. Actually, there's no cakes on the griddle. Maybe a granola bar to start out with.
Oh, joy.
Let's get to work.
Might as well.
Okay, starting to work on the shower here for the shower pan. And what's popular now is to do a pre-slope. Some codes call that a pre-slope before you put your mortar mix in here. That gives the slope already before. That way when water runs down, it'll actually go on top of your underlayment there. Your shower pan will actually flow towards the drain there. So what I've done is I've got like a 1/2 inch or a 3/8 inch strip here that'll go around the edges and underneath this board here. So there's already some underneath here, and I'll glue all that down with some subfloor adhesive. Yep. And that will automatically create a slope. There'll be nothing under here. It'll just go down there. So I'll put some liquid nail or whatever, some subfloor adhesive under that.
No brand names,
and,
please.
That way it'll give me my slope all the way around. I want to also mention they actually have a kit you can buy for a pre-shower. I mean, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say here. Oh yeah, pre-slope on the shower, the kit. And I bought it, but for getting the 2 kits and the extension kit, ended up being like $130. And then I realized that it's just styrofoam, literally with a cardboard top on it. And I thought, that's crazy. I'll just use plywood here. So I put 1 sheet of plywood in here, just marked out my lines, cut it in pieces. And like I said, I'm jacking it up and I'm going to put some filler underneath it. I may even put some foam underneath it. But that ends up being, you know, I mean, I had some plywood here, so it really cost me almost nothing to do. And I just looked at it like, well, instead of buying that, I'll just pay myself $100. And it might take me an hour longer to do it, maybe at the most, more like 30 minutes. And so that's $130, $40 an hour. So that's what I did.
And it's stronger.
Okay, I have my boards installed here for my shower slope. And liquid nailed the seams there, kind of caulked them in there. So pretty smooth. Ground around the drain there to make that a little smoother. And we're going to install the shower liner here. Next, the plastic shower liner up along the bottom, or along the bottom and around the edges. Also put some support blocks around the edge as well, over here and this side as well, to kind of hold up that shower liner so when it goes up there and it gets stapled to that, it'll have a little bit more strength before you bring the
wait for it
wallboard down on top of it.
February 23rd. Good morning, Lord. Beautiful morning out. About 6:30 in the morning. Somewhere on there, maybe a little bit later.
All right, that's enough. Enough what? Enough that. Oh, why didn't you say so?
Time to get started, and today we're going to be doing...
I did.
Some...
Ay.
Here is the shower, ready for the cement backer board, which is this. It's going to go on the wall here, but I've got my shower pan installed, and I went ahead and put felt paper over the entire surface of the shower area. That way when I put my cement backer board on it and screw it to it, it won't have any moisture. If it ever did penetrate through the backer board, it will actually protect the studs and keep those dry. So there's my pan, a little wrinkled there, but it'll lay out fine when I get the mortar bed mixed up. And I've got to tack up the tops a little bit better there. I just stapled it temporarily. I'll get some galvanized nails to just hold it. It just really needs to hold in place though until you get the cement backer board attached to the wall. And then once that's attached, it won't go anywhere. So it's come over the curb here. And I've got to patch this corner in here a little bit. And maybe this side here too, just in case any moisture should get under there. I'm cutting the backer board, the concrete backer board, and I started out with this little tool I bought yesterday, about $9 or something, and it's got a little score tip on it, and you can score through the material, but I found that you got to score through it like 20 times in order to get it so that then you could snap it. You know, it makes a good score line, then you can snap it. But when you're dealing with long pieces like this, these thin pieces, I finally found out I just needed to break out my angle grinder with the diamond bit on it and just free-handed the lines, chalked the lines first, and then just held the grinder and just free-handed it along there, and that worked a lot better and a lot faster. Yeah, it's messy, because the dust goes everywhere, but I'm cutting this outside, so I don't have to worry about that too much.
Always wear a dust mask, kids.
I have all my concrete backer board up.
Good idea.
A few more screws I needed to put into it. And I kept it about, using a jig, about 1 inch off the bottom here, or so. And that's where I'm going to go ahead and put my mud base in, right up to that level. That's level across there. And then we don't really need to slope it. We just need to maintain level because the slope is already underneath the liner here. I got the drain taped off there, so no mortar gets inside there. But that was a job.
Sure was. How much we getting paid?
And I'll go back and put some tape on these seams here.
What?
We'll tape all that, mud all this.
Just personal
before we
satisfaction.
put the thin set for the tile on it.
Great, I'm satisfied.
But now we're going to go outside and mix up some mortar mix. For the mortar bed for the shower, I'm just using quick rate mortar mix here. And I've mixed about half a gallon there to half the bag, which is a 60-pound bag. So about half a gallon to 30 pounds of mortar mix. And it looks pretty good consistency here. Just using this bucket here. I didn't want to pull out the other tray. I'm only going to mix in small amounts at a time as I go. I wanted a little bit more of a dry pack rather than really liquidy. So it'll pack in better and then it'll dry up firmer, quicker. And some guys like a dry pack, some guys like it wet. This is actually a little bit probably wetter than I thought it was going to be, but it'll work. Well, there it is. It's wet. It was a little wetter than I wanted to. I put it down, but actually it was good because it moved around a lot easier and filled in better. So as you can see, I got the drain covered there, which is good. So anyway, we'll let it set up, see what it looks like tomorrow. Maybe do a little scraping on it tomorrow. Just gotta flatten some of the ridges and smooth it out before we put the thin set and tile on it.
Hey, who turned out the lights? God did.
I'm in my tent inside the cabin, still staying in my tent here. Oh, I don't know if you can see me. Well, I've got my headlamp on, so this is how I spend my evenings here. It's only about 8 o'clock, but you just can't stay up too late because I don't really have any light other than this little light here. So I've got my Bible here. I'm just reading my Bible some too as I get ready to go to sleep. But that's why you get up early, because you go to bed so early, because it's dark out and there's literally nothing else to do here. So I just want to take a little video to show you that experience. February 26th, I believe.
Sounds right.
I got the shower floor laid here with a thin set, a white thin set. And used this package of stone that comes with a mesh underneath it. And then I added in some glass globs in between just to give it a little color, maybe appear like a few little gemstones and stuff in there. When I was grouting it or mortaring it in, I knew that the white would probably come up through there. I'm going to go with a light final grout on top of that thin set, which should cover it, but I had to water it in some and clean it off, especially putting in the little glass globs. So that was kind of a pain in the butt to get that cleaned off. Oh, excuse me, pain in the neck.
Much better.
Might be kids watching this. Pardon the mess here. Working on the shower this morning.
We're used to it.
And got some wall tile up. And it's a tile that looks like wood, actually. And wanted to have this the feel of like an outdoor spa kind of thing. So got that nice old wood planking look. And had to put a few pieces up in the ceiling here. One did fall down on my head. Luckily, I caught it in time.
Here we go.
And another one dropped when I wasn't there. But finally got him to stay up there with the mortar mix. Just had to get a good coating on it. Just kind of hold it in place a little bit and keep resetting it up there. But looks like they're up there for good now, hopefully.
Right?
As I work on the side, I don't want to get hit in the head again. I should have brought my hard hat with.
Very funny.
Here we are. We've got the mix. I'm not using the pre-mix today. Went ahead and just using the bucket for it, but went ahead and used the bag mix here, which you add water to for the mortar mix, and it's a white mortar mix and thin set. So that's what I'm sorry, not mortar mix. Did I say mortar mix? Yeah, tile. Well, it's tile mortar, but thin set. So that's what I'm mixing up here with the drill. It just makes it that much easier, especially when you can actually hold the bucket with the other hand when you're not holding the phone, taking the video. So we're making progress. These are long pieces. We're putting them up, and I've got like 3/16 inch little spacers that I'm putting in here just to keep my gaps even. But with this look, it's really rustic anyway. And the floor is done, of course. I didn't grout it yet, but it is covered up, and then I'm just going to wait till I grout everything at one time. See my tile saw that I started using with the porcelain tiles, but it was chipping the edges too much. It's like a wet saw. So I've got that stuffed over here in the corner. And I went down and bought a portable little cutting saw here, tile cutter. Let me see if I can do this here. So what you do is you just kind of score it. I'm going to try this one-handed. So
Lovely
score
sound.
it once and bring it up, and then it's got 2 little tabs here, and that puts pressure on it, and it just breaks it over this kind of a rod here in the middle of this ridge, so it breaks it, and it's a nice clean cut versus the grinder, which was leaving little edge marks and little chips and stuff on this porcelain tile because it's so hard. So I've got all my various tiles out here, porcelain, different shades. I didn't go with one shade. Some of these are upside down, of course, but I wanted a variety look, so that's what I'm going for. I wanted something, so I went through. They thought I was crazy over there at where did I get this at? Lowe's, Home Depot, maybe Home Depot. Yeah, Home Depot. Anyway, they thought I was nuts, but I like the mix. I think it'll look good when I get it done.
To each his
All
own.
right, back to
Oh, you did not just do that. Where's the idiot disclaimer?
We're back in here in the shower. Got all the tile up yesterday. I don't know if I took any video of this last night or not. I don't remember.
Wonder
So
why.
all the tiles up as far as inside the shower.
I'm perfectly fine.
And it looks good, so I'm going to clean it all off.
Right.
Then we're going to grout it today. Grout the floor and everything. Get it all grouted. And
Maybe a slight headache.
should be good. So, okay, for grouting, I've decided to use this grout. It's kind of like an epoxy grout. It actually is pre-mixed and has a little more durability to it than regular grout. But I like the fact that it's pre-mixed and we can just put it up. But what we're doing is we're just taking some out. Here, I'm a little messy trying to hold this with one hand. And I'm applying this on a wall here, this diagonal. Hold on a second. Let me get the phone straightened up. Okay, so what we're doing is we're just putting it in the crack here. And again, since I'm on an angle, I know you can't tell this stuff's dropping off because it's almost like a ceiling here. But you want to just get it in the crack, about a 45-degree angle with the trowel. Just kind of smooths it in there. And then eventually, once you get it full, you kind of go back with a 90-degree angle to the wall surface and then just scrape the excess off like that. And once that happens, then you'll take a sponge and kind of wipe off the excess grout there and then a little bit of the haze, which has to be cleaned off afterward. But as you can see, I've kind of gotten an area done. This ceiling's already done, wiped down, so it's clean. This is yet to be wiped off here. But that's about it. Just take it, trowel in and fill it, and then wipe it off. You'll need to change out the water quite a bit in the bucket. And you'll need to get a clean sponge, and they have a grouting sponge here. Try to keep your water clean. You get several buckets going is really the best bet. You can rinse it out, all the grout in one, then go for the clean water, rinse it again, and then go ahead and apply it, wiping it down. And it's pretty basic, but let's see what we got here. So again, once it's there, it's just a matter of taking this and going over the area without trying to draw too much grout. What you want to do is flat, kind of keep it flat so that it just pulls off the extra haze on top of it. And then it'll be rinsed off and then done again several times until it's pretty clean. And then let it set up, and then it dries, and then you'll come back again and with a towel, like a buffing towel, try to wipe off the haze. I don't know if I said trowel in the last little video clip there.
You did.
But this is actually a hard rubber float that we're using to apply the grout with. And it's got like a hard coating on the surface there. So it's firm, but it's not metal or anything, so it doesn't scratch the tile when you're squishing in the grout. Okay, is that clear? Okay, pretty much have the shower done. Got the floor grouted. I need to go back and wipe the haze off, but it's setting up now. I've wiped it a million times trying to get some of that haze off because once it dries, that epoxy grout is horrible to get off. As I found out this morning, trying to get the residue off of the rest of the tile, I bought some cleaner stuff to help with it, and it did absolutely nothing. I still just had to scrub a lot with some water and some of the cleaner, but I'm going to see if I can find a better cleaner. I think they make an epoxy grout cleaner actually specifically for that epoxy, just to remove a little bit of the haze that's on there. But it looks good. I mean, this tile, you really can't tell if there's a little bit of haze or not. It's kind of part of the problem. It just looks old. The wood looks old, so it looks kind of like it has a paint film haze on it. So anyway, it was a lot of scrubbing there to get that haze off, but I'm going to let this set up here.
Well, that about wraps up this episode, but there's more to come. Yeah, so be sure to subscribe, or like, or comment, or share, or do something. But no pressure, right? Never.
Did I mention I was praying for you and hoping you're doing well? All right. God bless.
Yeah, I look a little rough around the edges.